Welcome to Idea TV News at 9. I am Mary Ojimajo. We begin with the headlines. KENYAN President Rio holds high-level talks on education reforms. African fintechs set for profitable growth in 2026. Protests spread in U.S. after ICE officer fatal shooting. Police resume rescues 33 girls in ANAMBRA child trafficking raid. And away from Africa, Syria clashes, UN calls for immediate de-escalation. In health, NGO targets child malnutrition with egg feeding programs. In business, African currency under pressure amidst dollar demand. And finally, sports Super Eagles to receive AFCON bonuses before Friday. Now the news in full. KENYAN President William Rio has met with education sector stakeholders at State House in Nairobi to address school funding policy reforms and implementation challenges. He reaffirmed his government's commitment to education as a drive of economic growth and social development. Education Cabinet Secretary Ngozi said 44 billion shillings in school capitalization has already been released ahead of reopening, with further disbursement planned later in the year. An additional 5.6 billion shillings has been paid to publishers for textbooks. The president also announces progress on teacher recruitment and promotion, confirming that 25,000 teachers have been promoted and 24,000 new teachers would report for duty this month, bringing total higher since 2023 to 100,000. Moving forward, African fintechs companies are expected to shift from chasing foreign fundings to attracting global investment in 2026, according to the African Fintech Summit. The group says the sector is moving towards profitability, sustainability, and African-led innovation. Managing Director Zikara Amasu has said the transition follows strong performance in 2025, with African setup rising over $3 billion and regulators support innovation. He said fintech are now exporting solutions globally, powered by African capital and talent. The outlook points to more margins, banking license for fintech and telecoms, and renewed interest from global players, including PayPal, signaling Africa's growing role as a driver of global financial technology. Moving forward, protesters have spread across the United States after a United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency fatal shoot a woman in Municipally on Wednesday yesterday morning, speaking widespread outrage and calls for justice. The victim, identified as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, was shot during a federal immigration enforcement operation in a residential neighborhood near East 34th Street and Portland Avenue. Video footage shows an officer firing at her vehicle as it moves away, and she later died of her injuries. Demonstration began in Municipally with vigils and marches, and active groups held rallies in Sunderland and other cities demanding an end of ICE operation. Protesters carried signs urging ICE out of Municipalities as local leaders, including Municipalities Mayor Jacob Frey and Governor Tim Walz, condemned the shooting and called for a full investigation. The accident has deepened tension over immigration enforcement, with federal officials demanding the urgent action and describing the event as self-defense, while critics, witnesses, and community leaders dispute that account. The shooting has promoted national debate over ICE tech tax and the deployment of federal agents in local communities. The Anambra State Police Command has dismantled the child trafficking syndicates in Akuzo, Oyi local government area, rescuing 33 underage girls. The raid carried out on Wednesday yesterday following ongoing investigation into kidnapping, adoption, and missing children in the state. One suspect, 37-year-old Ifeoma Success Anthony, was arrested while the principal suspect remains at large. Police said 3 of the rescued children had been adopted from Ebonyi State in September 2025 and were traced to a compound in Akwozo. Primary investigation indicates the building was allegedly used for child trafficking and prostitution. Efforts are ongoing to apprehend the remaining suspects and identify other accomplices. SP Tochukwu Ikenga, the state police spokesperson, urged the public to continue providing information to support the investigation. The command reiterated its commitment to protecting vulnerable children and ensuring perpetrators of such crimes face justice. We'll go on a quick break now. When we return, the news continues.
Quantum computing. Quantum computing is still in its infancy, but has the potential to revolutionize industries that require massive computational power. Unlike traditional computers, quantum computers use quantum bits, or qubits, which can process a vast number of possibilities simultaneously. This makes quantum computing particularly valuable for solving complex problems in drug discovery, cryptography, and optimization. However, the technology is still experimental, and practical applications are limited by issues like error rates and stability. Despite this, quantum computing is attracting massive investments from companies like Google and IBM, and the market could reach $64.98 billion by 2030.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea TV News at 9. Now the rest of the news. And away from Africa, renewed fighting in Aleppo, Syria, has left at least 5 civilians dead and displaced some 30,000 people, the United Nations report. Clashes resumed on Tuesday between government forces and Kurdish Syrian Democratic Forces, spreading from the city outskirts into Kurdish neighborhood. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for immediate de-escalation and dialogue, urging all parties to protect civilians and civilians' infrastructure. Hospitals have been damaged, fights suspended, and thousands of families are seeking refuge in Afrin and local collective centers. The UN stressed that a key step forward stability is an agreement placing security forces under a unified national command. Humanitarian agencies are providing temporary shelters and evacuating corridors, while Antonio appealed for political negotiations to implement the March 2025 ceasefire fully. And now in health, in rural Nigeria, protein deficiency among children under 5 remains a serious public health concern. According to UNICEF, nearly 1/3 of Nigeria's children are stunned and only 2 in 10 with severe malnutrition currently received treatment. The Abuja-based NGO Food Agriculture Nutrition Network is tracking the problem through its Egg a Child initiative. The program provides under 5 children in rural communities with egg, a rich source of protein and essential nutrients, while other educating caregivers on proper nutrition and child feeding practice. Baseline survey and community engagement ensure the program meets local needs. Early results show children energy level and overall health improvement visibly. Farm plans to expand initiative promoting household egg production to create a sustainable solution to protein deficiency. And now in business, several African countries currencies are facing pressure against the US dollars this week, driven by rising corporate demand and investor activity. In Ghana, the cedi weakens to 10.70 per dollar after strong demand from energy and service sector, as well as foreign portfolio investors outstripped central bank dollar supply. Analysts warn this trend could continue as business return from the holiday season. Uganda's shilling faced a weakened buzz amidst concerns over potential election-related unrest, while Zambia Kwacha now see volatility due to renewed corporate demand for hard currency. By contrast, Kenya shilling is expected to remain stable as trade resumes following the holiday, trading around 129 per dollar. Traders say broader economic activities and political uncertainty will continue to shape exchange rates across the region in the coming week. And finally, in sports, the federal government says outstanding match bonuses for the Super Eagles at the 2025 African Cup of Nations will be paid before Friday. The Minister of State for Finance, Doris Uzoke, Anit, said the funds have cleared regulatory process and are being transferred to players' accounts. The assurance follows the report that the team threatens to boycott travel of Saturday's quarter-finals against Algeria over unpaid allowances. Officials said the delay was caused by foreign exchange conversion procedure, which have been fast-tracked. Nigeria, unbeatable in the tournament with 4 wins and 12 goals, will face Algeria on Saturday in Marrakesh, with the government pleading smoother and faster payments going forward. And that's all we have for you on Nigeria TV News at 9. But before we go, here's the recap of the headlines. KENYAN President RUTO holds high-level talks on education reforms. African fintech sector for profitable growth in 2026. Protests spread in U.S. after ICE officer fatal shooting. Police rescue 33 girls in ANAMBRA child trafficking raid. And away from Africa, Syria clashes. UN calls for immediate de-escalation. In health, NGO targets child malnutrition with egg feeding program. In business, African currencies under pressure amidst dollar demand. And finally, in sports, Super Eagles to receive AFCON bonuses before Friday. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Mary Ojimajo. Thank you for watching.